Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit and hang out with you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the moat in the chat. If you are a subscriber, you can throw that back at me. If you're not a subscriber, you can just say hi or throw an emote that you get from another streamer or the emotes that everyone has. You got options. Harold's hosting. Thank you for hosting, Harold. We're going to wait for a few more folks to join us before we get into the building portion. This is the intro portion if you're new. This will be the last stream in this room, not apartment, room. I am going to be moving my streaming setup, hi Aristophan, into the other bedroom in this apartment so that I can properly clean this room because if I take out all my streaming stuff, then I can break down my computer desk and then I don't have all of this, and then I could start actually tackling the various things that I need to do in this room because I can only do so much, like sliding things around. You got to move stuff in order to move stuff. Is a thing that I'm fairly aware of. So yeah, but to you, it won't matter much. The lighting might be a little different. It's still going to be the same table. I'm probably not going to put black curtains up behind me. I'm probably just going to have this off-white wall in the other room. So it'll actually be better because I won't be having a black t-shirt on a white background. I can see whatever. And we'll see that on Wednesday. Giving you the heads up, Wednesday, 9 p.m., my weekly bonus gaming stream, this week's gaming stream, well, don't you worry about it. I'm going to be checking out a bunch of games that I got for $15. That's right, I gave more than the $5. That doesn't, whatever. But I got a bunch of free, basically free games. I got 1,000 of them or whatever. And I'm going to play a couple of them. I don't know what I'm going to be playing. I'm going to be asking people to kind of give me recommendations. There are a few threads. People are like, here's like I'm not going to play Celeste, right? Like I'm just not going to play Celeste like on stream. But I might try out a few other games. I'm going to be trying things that just involve the mouse because my I don't know where my controller is. I think my controller is packed already, so I'm like, probably won't do that. Also, I want to test out the wireless because I have a wireless card for my router. Actually, sorry, chairs. I have a wireless card for my router, or for my computer, for my desktop, and so I want to test that out, see how that goes. We're going to go to the overhead in just a minute. I just, want to hang out here with y'all before we get into things. We've got our friend here, the Turn A Gundam with his big old mustache and a little bit of dry transfer sticker that I put on there that worked out okay. Hi, Lashbrook. Welcome, welcome. Reminder, folks, if you're a subscriber, you can throw the emotes in the chat. Let me know. If you use Twitch Prime, you've got to manually renew that. So reminder to do that, to renew your Twitch subscription so that I continue to you get emotes and I get some money from Jeff Bezos. And if you are paying with cash money as a subscriber and it's time to renew, well, that's automatic, but you can also hit that notification so we know that you renewed. And that would be cool because we were up past 50, but I think some people got gifted some subs because fine folks like yourselves gift subs, which is very nice, but people don't always renew those on their own. I get that. I don't often do that myself. Sometimes I have the people that I subscribe to, and then there are people that I get subscriptions for, and that's rad. But I don't go out of my way to continue that. I'd like to, but I don't. Okay, I'm gonna retweet, and then we're gonna go to our building portion, and I'm gonna talk about a wrestling thing. There's a wrestling thing that I need to talk to you all about. So let's go to the overhead. So there was a WWE pay-per-view special event. Nobody, people are watching on pay-per-view. Most people aren't, but I guess you could. There was a network thing, right? And that's fun, right? It's wrestling. They've got this thing now. WWE's doing a thing where they have other wrestlers in the company, and specifically they have some of their trainees who are all living in Florida anyway, watching the matches and cheering where appropriate and just acting kind of like the audience, right? For a thing, and that's fine. That's a fine enough thing. I mean, let's be real. I don't like it at all. I do not like that these people who are trainees in the WWE. I do not like that they are brought to shows to be audience members and have to stand to watch wrestling because they can't. I don't know why they can't sit, but they can't sit, so they just have to stand all day for tapings. I don't like that at all. I'll be honest. I don't enjoy that part. But they're doing their thing and whatever. It's happening. They're doing their thing. They're mixing things up. They're there to react and whatever. And because there's no audience, the WWE has had the opportunity to do some wrestling matches that has been referred to as cinematic style. And basically, it is what it sounds like. They are able to make things that are wrestling related things that don't involve a wrestling ring. Now, the thing that I always liked about the thing that I've not liked in the past is when they've had like brawls, like falls count anywhere, right? A lot of times falls count anywhere end up starting a ring and end up back in a ring. Even the backyard or the backstage brawl of the past would mostly end up in the ring because there's a live audience there. So since there's not a live audience or just employees as an audience, WWE is able to just do things that don't take place in a ring ever. They don't start in a ring, they don't end in a ring. And I think that is the most interesting part, in my opinion. And a thing happened last night. The Viking Raiders, who are a fantastic wrestling tag team that have been done dirty by their spot. Their spot is not good. They have not been done any favors. And the Street Profits, who are one of them is very good, and one of them is there, and it's fine. But they're entertaining, and they've also been done dirty since their call-up or transition from NXT to Raw. And they have a program together, and they're working together fine. They're doing these vignettes that aren't good. They're not good. They're doing everything but wrestling. And they had this, fight. And it was cinematic, and it was sometimes funny and sometimes not funny, and it is what it is, and I'm not a big fan of it in general. But I'm telling you all this because a thing happened, and I don't know, because I didn't watch Raw tonight, so I don't know if this is a one-time deal, or if this was on, because they were like, oh, we're doing a cinematic, street fight, and someone had this idea, and so we're doing it, or if this is what this character is going to be doing now. This is a way to introduce this new bit. But Akira Tozawa, who is a fantastic wrestler, whose, at this point, biggest thing he's done in the WWE is lose to very good people, and he once won he got beat up by Santa Claus in a wrestling angle. Crazy Leg Fox wants me to hit that gong. I will hit that gong, and then we'll keep talking about it. Akira Tozawa is great. So there's this match happening. Let me get this going here. Bang a gong. I did. Thank you very much, Crazy Leg Fox, for asking for that gong. So yeah, so we end up having this thing where Akira Tozawa shows up during this wrestling match. He has nothing to do with this angle. He has never been with either of these teams in any way, shape, or form. He has no connection to them and the shenanigans that are about to take place with them. We do not know why this is happening. But he shows up with an army of ninjas on motorcycles. And if your immediate thought is, that sounds fucking rad, it was fucking rad. And so the tag team, these guys that are fighting each other, are like, oh no, this dude showed up with a bunch of ninjas. We didn't know he had ninjas. We'll have to team up together as the Prophet Raiders, because the Viking Raiders and the Street Profits, we'll team up and we'll take on all these ninjas. But then also, there was a very tall African American ninja who had a sword, and they ran away from the. And when I say this man is 7'3", he's 7'3". He's a trainee. I do not expect him to be called up because he has not even been on NXT. I think they used him just as a visual gag, which that's its own thing. But I'll tell you, if you ever seen the movie Miami Connection, I will tell you that someone on creative must have seen that movie because this felt like it was taken straight out of Miami Connection. And I am of two minds about this. If Akira Tozawa does not show up on Raw tonight with a bunch of ninjas on motorcycles, and it was only a one-time thing, it is one of the biggest wastes of an idea ever. If they were like, well, we're doing this cinematic match, what if like ninjas showed up? Then make it. I'm saying this, that ninjas showed up on motorcycles, and I haven't felt that kind of joy in I would say 2020. I would say the happiest I've been in 2020 was a lot of people showed up and really enjoyed Pat Bear's Anime Club. My first ever time doing it as a live panel at PAX East. That was the biggest feeling I've had this year. And my second biggest feeling was last night watching ninjas on motorcycles show up at a wrestling match. So what I'm saying is, if this is all we get is that one time, I'm bummed. I'm really bummed. Cause I don't even know if I'm doing it justice. I don't think maybe I'm not. Just I don't know. Sometimes wrestling is not the worst thing in the world, okay? I can't say that sometimes it's incredible or good. Sometimes wrestling is fucking just. Sometimes wrestling rules. Sometimes a giant box of cereal tips over, and then three men dressed as Saiyans come out of that box of cereal. And sometimes a bunch of ninjas show up on motorcycles for no apparent reason. And wrestling can be okay. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes it's very much not. Like having a wrestler's one of the greatest wrestlers in your company, one of the highlights of the doom times that you're currently in, win via double disqualification. You're going to have Asuka, who you just turned babyface, who won the championship by winning Money in the Bank, who did not win the championship by wrestling. In her first title defense, you have her win via double DQ. That's not good wrestling. That sucks. There were other things on the card that were not great. There were some things on the card that were fine. They were just fine. I can be convinced that Braun Strowman looked pretty weak against two people, but it is two people, but he didn't come out of it looking like a really strong champion, which is fine, I guess. I will say the greatest wrestling match of all time was not the greatest wrestling match of all time, but it was a tribute to a lot of great wrestling matches. And I was pretty happy about it. Bummed to hear that Edge is reportedly injured. That's awful. I do not want that man injured. I want that man to have the matches he wants to have and to go at the pace he wants to go at. So I hope that he recovers. Um, but yeah, uh, I'm assuming Kevin Owens is going to turn heel soon, uh, which I'm of two thoughts about. Kevin Owens is a fantastic wrestler and an incredible heel, but I do not want him to beat Apollo Crews right now because I like Apollo Crews a lot. And I want Apollo Crews having a belt and getting like a little bit of a run here and some momentum is cool, and I'm into it. Hello, Epic Open World. Welcome, welcome. We got a very quiet chat tonight. It is okay that they're quiet, but I'm just letting you know that folks are pretty chilled out tonight, and that is, as said, that is okay, but that's where we're at. Um, that is fine. I've been talking about wrestling. I've had some wrestling thoughts from last night. Things I liked, some stuff I didn't like. Um, they're gonna wait until there's audiences before they turn Sasha face and break up Sasha and Becky, or Sasha and Bailey, I should say. And part of me is okay with that, but part of me also thinks that you we do not need Bailey dose belts in order to accomplish that. And in fact, by having her have two belts, we are restricting a lot of other activity that could be happening. The Iconics, the return of the Iconics, is kind of wasted now that we've had another heel tag team with the belts, because I do not expect the Iconics to turn face to challenge for them, so they are just in limbo right now, which I'm not a big fan of. Weirdly enough, I'm not a fan of good workers being in a bad spot. I don't. They're not going to wait, and I would like them to wait. How do these shoulders work? This is wrong, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Hi, everybody. The shoulders on this thing. Every part of this kit is weird and nonsensical, and I get that this thing is just like, it's just weird lines and weird designs, and it's just, this whole kit is a lot of like, well, that doesn't seem right. Well, let me try that this way. Oh, okay. Well, that's how it goes. Like, my first instinct on every single step of this kit is wrong. And my second instinct is like, ends up being okay. Hi, Mr. Bob. Welcome, welcome. And welcome to everybody, not just Mr. Bob. Welcome to, if you haven't said hi in the chat and I don't know you're here, welcome. If you're not a chatter, welcome. Welcome, welcome. I'm on a pretty high dose of over-the-counter Claritin because I have been doing a lot of cleaning. So my normal allergies, plus allergies that have come out because of the cleaning I'm doing, meant that I felt like complete and utter my voice cracked there, apologies. Complete and utter garbage today. I felt very not good. So the solution to that was to take some Claritin, which does help. So hopefully that will work out. How does this go? This goes like, let's say, so Pat is very high right now. Call the cops. Yeah, yes, I am definitely very high. Now I am. I'm not loopy yet, but I have I'm getting the vibe that I'm gonna be loopy, if that makes sense. I think that makes sense. Like, I don't feel weird, but I know I will feel weird soon. It's kind of where I'm at. Look at this. Okay, so this thing pops off, which is whatever. Harold throwing the emotes in there. All right, okay. Ooh, then you get to do my favorite Benadryl before bed zonk out. Nah, I think I'll be okay. Um, so there are. This thing keeps popping off, which is annoying. Put this up. Put this in. Okay, so what's up? What's up with this thing? So there are little tiny spots right here. You can see right there. The shoulder piece, instead of just clipping on, it is going to go in here and lock into place that way, which is cool, but weird, and doesn't make a lot. It makes sense, but like I said, part of the Turn 8 Gundam being weird is it's a 2007 kit, and I've said this before. I don't have a lot of experience with kits of this particular era. I have a lot of kits of the mid to late 90s and the 2010s, but I don't have a lot of the mid 2000s experience. I just didn't build a lot of kits then. So that's part of it, right? That's definitely part of what's going on. But the other part of what's going on is that this kit doesn't make any goddamn sense because the Turn 8 Gundam is an oddball Gundam that doesn't make any sense. So it's this like perfect storm of what's going on. Somebody was tweeted at me today. They were like, I remember the chest of this kit being weird and the weapon being weird. And I was like, the chest was weird to put together. It's good to know about the rifle. The rifle apparently, the rifle looks weird. I mean, it does look weird. You can see it on there. It's got a weird shape that I really like about it. But okay, so this shoulder's done. So now we can do the other shoulder. And now that I've done it once, you might say, oh, you did it once, Pat. That means you know how to do it. And so this next time will be really easy for you. And obviously that is not the case at all. That couldn't be the case. The fact that I did it right once just means that I will more likely screw it up now. Because this kit has no rhyme or reason to it. Okay, so then this is going to go this. Nope, no. Okay, so this goes like that. I think. How does that look? No. It goes this way. Okay. So yeah. Let's see. What else did I do today? Oh, a big thing I did today was I booked an Airbnb. So, I didn't plan out this whole like going to South Carolina for a while thing. This is a thing that has been an option for me for a bit and was something I was trying to avoid up until now. I was definitely trying to avoid having to do that. I didn't want to. I don't want to do this. I don't want to leave New York for a while, but I'm doing it, right? So, leaving in July, right? Well, if I had known this months ago, I would have had a flight on July 1st. No problem at all. Or June 28th. No big deal, right? Something like that, right? Well, I didn't do that. And I have some frequent flyer miles saved up from, trips to Seattle and flights to South Carolina and various other things, right? I have some trips set up, so I'm going to take advantage of those trips or those frequent flyer miles, right? So that limits my options because I am doing that. So I was a bit limited in what I could do. So I end up deciding that I'm going to fly out on the 5th of July because the 4th of July makes the stuff right before that. Even though we are currently in the situation we are in with travel, it's not the easiest thing in the world to do it. But also, flights aren't the most expensive they've been, but they're still expensive. So I got a flight because also the airlines have taken a hit with flying, and my flight, no middle seats, aisle and window. Now, I don't want to sit in the middle seat anyway, but my hope is that there's nobody sitting in the aisle, or that there's no one sitting in the window seat, and I'll just sit in the middle, and that way I'm far away from a bunch of people. Whatever, we'll figure that out. Anyway, this is not about that. I flew back from a customer visit on July 4th a few years back. It was ass. Yeah. Get rid of the middle seats forever. Yeah, Epic Open World. I'm not complaining about no middle. Like, as a large person who often ends up sticking one of his legs out into the aisle or shoulder, I won't have to do that. I'll just like be able to stretch out into the middle. So I'm very excited about that. I'm terrified of it. I'm not I'm not thrilled about the idea of flying, but whatever. So that's not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is the fact that, well, July 1st, July 5th, what do then? So, if this was 2019, if this was 2018, I would just put on Facebook, hey, New York City, who's got a spare bedroom, who's got a living room, any of these dates. Don't worry about saying you can do all of them. If you could do any of them, just let me know. If I can come crash, blah, blah, blah. I would just do that. But we are in 2020, and I am not asking my friends, who I love and care about, to let me just come and stay in their apartment. Like, no. That's not happening. There's no way I'm going to do that. Go sleep in the giant bomb office. Yeah. There's not enough room in the studio for me to sleep there. I have to move the table. Let's see. So I got an Airbnb. I got a whole studio apartment Airbnb for not much money. You would be not surprised to know that even though I'm staying on July 4th, which I need to just let you know, July 4th is a Saturday. July 4th is a Saturday. Any other year, the person that I am renting this place from would be making 4 or 5 or 6 times the amount they're making off of me. But just the idea that they're going to get any income in there, like, they definitely dropped their price, and like every indication was like, this place is always booked. Like, it's not nothing special. It's a fine enough little place. The best thing about it is that it's walking distance from where I am now, which is great because it means that I can, the day July 1st or whatever, I can move stuff to the storage facility that I'll be putting some stuff in, and then just go to this place and bring stuff over, and just go and stay there, and then like basically bring whatever food I have, get new groceries for the next couple days, and then just hunker down and stay there. And then sad thing is now price-wise the best time to travel, but it's also the worst time. Yeah, I mean, that's why it's the best time to travel. It's because, like, who the fuck is traveling? Like, if the price I got on my one-way flight, if I had done this 4 months ago, like, I would have been able to do even cheaper, but this is the price I'm paying right now because that's the price that they can charge right now. And it's like, it's fine. But this Airbnb, totally reasonably priced. And they're like, hey, are you traveling alone? I'm like, yes. Okay, great. Hey, here are some things, blah, blah, blah. Here's some things that are there. This is what we're going to be doing on the right before you come in. We'll be doing these things. And I'm like, great. Here's how you, whatever. Thank you so much for doing this. Blah, blah, blah. Are you flying in? I'm like, no, I'm flying out. They're like, hey, what have you, or blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, don't worry about it. It's just like I'm in between spots and looking to, to crash for a couple days. And the real plan is that, like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to stream in those days because they have Wi-Fi, but I can't tell you they're going to have good Wi-Fi that I can just, or like I'll bring an Ethernet cable, and I can't tell you they're going to have good internet there. Um, uh, but I'll try to stream, and I'll know as soon as I get there. Like, well, I get there on yeah, I get there on a Wednesday, so the second I hopefully will stream, but I will let you know on the first if I'm streaming or not, because I will know then if this is going to be something that I can do. Uh, no idea. I don't know. Um, I can tell you that the 6th, from when I am in South Carolina, I will be streaming on the 6th. I know that will have no issue doing that because even if my computer right now, my desktop computer is I'm going to mail it out on the 24th, and so it'll be there for me. Even if anything goes wrong with it, I'll still have my laptop. I'll still be able to stream off my laptop because that's what I'll be using when I'm traveling a little bit. So I'll have my laptop. I will have gear with me to be able to stream, and then the hope is that like I can stream from my Airbnb, and then also stream from when I get to South Carolina. So um, we'll figure it out as we go. The only thing that I'm like kind of, the things are question marks right now are bonus streams because like I like I'll probably do one on the 31st. Right, the 31st. That right? Yeah, the 30th. I should say. Sorry, I'll probably do one on the 30th instead of the first because I want to get settled and whatever, and I don't want to say I'm doing a bonus stream and not do one. But also, it's like I don't know what my bonus streams are going to be because they're usually gaming related, and I'm running off my laptop, and OBS on my laptop works just fine. But I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to run a game and OBS. Like, it might just have to be Hearthstone because, like, I can probably run Hearthstone and control OBS using my or have I can have Hearthstone windowed and just read it off the OBS or something like that. I can make it work if I have to, and have chat on my iPad or something. Like I can make it work. Um, but yeah, I'm kind of limited when it comes to bonus streams. I guess I can do Twitch Sings because I can stream from the app, so I can probably do Twitch Sings. I'll probably do that once, just because I know I can do it. Uh, Yeah, so those things are kind of up in the air. Oh, Epico World says I want to go to Japan someday. Flying to Japan is really expensive. If I felt better about traveling now, would be time to go. Yeah, I mean, like, you also Epic Open World. Don't go to there if you want to go again, because they may not let you back in. There are a lot of folks that have traveled to Japan to live there that left Japan during the current situation, COVID situation, that are not eligible to return. So if you want to go back to Japan, you might want to wait. If you only want to go once, then, now I guess could be an okay time to do that. I would still probably say don't, but it might be an okay time to do it. Uh, but yeah, I know some people. Aren't they paying people to go to Japan right now? Lashbrook, I do not know the answer to that. I do know that there are folks that I know personally who have had their work visas terminated in Japan that are British folks that are not eligible to return, that now are being told do not try to come back to Japan, and are currently fighting it because there is a belief that they will. I don't know. I don't know why. There's some belief that something bad's gonna happen there. So we'll see. Epic World. It's generally a lot of it is fear, um, and racism. Uh, it is it is easy to believe that uh, for a lot of countries, a lot of governments, not it's not just a Japan thing. A lot of countries and governments to just be like, oh no, your country has illnesses, you can't come in, or oh well, we weren't sick until until this and this, and it's just like a lot of not cool shit. I mean, it's not just European countries, it's other Asian countries, and it's a systemic issue, unfortunately. But uh, a lot of international travel is not recommended right now. Um, a friend of mine is in Paris for work, and basically, she's like, well, they wanted me to come back and work from home on their schedule, and I said, I love Paris more than I like this job. You can keep me or whatever. But she was like, I don't want to travel internationally. She was like, I don't want to fly back to like my uh and like get a new apartment somewhere in the US just to keep this job. And they were like, "Oh, well, all right." And they're like working with her about it. But yeah, they were just like, "We don't want you, we don't want you to do this your job. We want you to come back to the States." She was just like, "No, I don't want to fly." Some of the air quarantines sound like nightmares. Yeah. Uh, yeah, Epic Open World. There is a lot of inherent racism, particularly stemming at Chinese folks and Koreans in Japan, and also the white foreigners, expats, all of that. Like, there's a lot of it. It's generally not in my knowledge of it, which is by all means, like, I'm no expert. It is generally not about travelers, although sometimes it is. It is generally about folks that have moved there, um, and it's easy to blame outside, right? It's easier to blame outside than to look inside. It's the classic garbage of that. Is that it's way easier to be like, you're the reason why this is bad. We can't stop and think about other reasons that things could be going badly. So it's definitely you. Uh, but it is yeah, it is the great thing that a lot of people don't want to think about or talk about, um, because they want to fetishize a country because they like the products that they make and the limited knowledge they have of their culture. So they don't like the idea that maybe some of it is bad. Astrology says, I know parts of political advertising in vans with loudspeaker. Yeah. Yes. So basically, it's the idea of like that you can let that part of it is the a way classic way that over the many generations um, of uh, of promoting for political purposes is these vans, right? So other people are like, well, we can use these vans for our garbage, and if people complain, well, we don't want to say who can and can't, which is just looking the other way and not addressing the issue. So they're just like, well, we can't police the vans so everyone can ride around in a van and be awful if they want, because some people are not awful about it. And it's like, all right, well, that's not helpful. I just want to visit. Yeah, I mean, Epic Home World. I've never been to Japan. I would like to go. I would like to go to a Japanese arcade. I would like to go to an onsen. I would like to see Mount Fuji. That would be cool. There are things that I would like to do uh, that would be neat. I don't necessarily see that happening in my lifetime these days, but whatever. I'd also, hey, I'd like to go to Australia someday. I almost got to go twice now. Um, and probably should have gone in 2019. It was not a good idea. I'm glad I didn't. It would have been a very poor choice of mine to go last year, but I should have. Uh, it's okay that I didn't, but I definitely should have gone last year. And I am annoyed that I didn't go, but whatever. Uh, I also hell, as I said, I do not want to get on a plane. No, Pat, the animals in Australia want to kill you. Look, a lot of stuff wants to kill me, and it won't. So, as I said on Twitter, mostly jokingly, they're rebooting Shaman King, so I have to stay alive because that's a good anime that kind of fizzled out, mainly because the manga fizzled out, mainly because people just didn't kind of care as much. They kind of just the manga kind of just fizzled and then went away, and then the anime is good, but the dub is not great. So we're gonna get subtitled new art Shaman King, and maybe they'll trim down the beginning a little bit. We're gonna get the Hunter x Hunter treatment, 2011 treatment, but for Shaman King. So I gotta stay alive. So I'm not gonna worry about Australia coming at me with a bunch of animals that want to do stuff to me and take me down. Like, yeah, good luck. Try to take me down, animals. Um, anyway, uh, I don't want to travel. The idea of getting on a plane makes me very uncomfortable. I don't want to be doing that. I mean, I unfortunately have to. Look, well, also here's the thing, right? I don't want to get on a plane for a 2 hour flight. I don't want to go to JFK, get on a plane, fly to Charleston, South Carolina, and then be in a car for a couple hours, for 2 hours, um, because that's a JetBlue, the best way to get that, to go to where my parents are at. I'm not looking forward to that at all. I don't want to do that. But the alternative is taking a train to South Carolina or a bus to South Carolina. And guess what I don't want to do? Either of those things times 1,000. So if I've got to do this, it's definitely by plane. I'm not taking a real long train to South Carolina, or a real long, or an incredibly long bus ride. I literally have to laugh because the very concept of that is ridiculous. Uh, so if you visit Japan, do the Harold says I would do the train. It's a long train ride to South Carolina, Harold. I mean, I do the train to Boston. I do the train to Philly. I do the train to DC. The Philly is just a little longer than DC. Those aren't bad, but that's a real let me just do. I'm gonna do some investigating. While I investigate, visit Japan's various anime studios for fun, like tours or visitor centers. Uh, so, I don't believe that anime studios have tours. Now, there is the Studio Ghibli Museum, which they're doing a virtual. You can find it if you look on YouTube. They're starting to do quick little videos of it because they're closed right now. But the Studio Ghibli has a museum that's beautiful. To train. I'm just looking at the train right now. Oh yeah, no. No thanks. Uh, I mean that's commuter right now is. So basically closest would be that, and then an hour and a half drive. Yeah. Yeah, no. That's uh oh yeah, that's a real long train ride. No, thank you. Not gonna be doing that. Yeah. Um, oh yeah, I mean it's just like, look, I like a train, but I've never done it overnight. I've never done like the night car thing. Um, I've never done that kind of thing. The longest train ride I've had um, is New York to North Bethesda. Well, no, sorry, no, Philly is farther. I've done the train to DC and to Philly, so that's probably the longest. Hello, Lord Crashington, welcome, welcome. I've done, yeah, like I said, I've done the train to Philly and to DC, and then took a commuter rail out to North Bethesda. Um, and that was fine. I don't look forward to doing that again. All right, we got our feet done. It's time to do. It's leg day. Let's work on our leg here. We'll get some leg work done, and then we'll take our pause for the cause in a little bit. But yeah, we'll get some leg stuff working here. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna fly, and I'm not thrilled about it. I don't want to do it, but it's short. It's a short flight. Um, my hope is that the honestly, the real thing that I'm freaked out about more than the flight is just being on the New York subway for a really long period of time because I'm depending on what my money situation is because you know, part of the reason I'm going is money. But I have some money for the move, but I have to take into account there's a couple of expenses that I haven't figured out quite yet. Is the moving expenses are still being finalized, and the actual mover coming, the person with the van coming, that's being finalized. That's gonna be costly. I have to figure out exactly how much that's going to be. And then the other thing I have to take in consideration is just like closing accounts and paying off some stuff and figuring that stuff out. So I might end up having to take the subway to JFK instead of like a car service. I don't definitely don't would prefer to do a car service. Um, but if I have to do the uh, subway, that freaks me out. Just being on a train for that long. Also, like, there's going to be a lot of people at an airport, and I have not been around a lot of people. Like, uh, the marches, the demonstrations, the protests that I have been to have been on the smaller side, and they've been, especially with the walking, people have been kept their distance and really gone out of their way to be safe as possible. And it's still like large crowds, y'all. I'm just like haven't had it and feeling weird about it and trying to be okay about it, but like, I mean, I've been really isolated. Now, I'm not the most isolated because I know some people like my friend Brett has not left his apartment building. He's gone on the roof and that's it. And he's been in his apartment since like the middle of March. Like I haven't been like that. I've been out. I've been to get groceries, or today I went and mailed a card because Sunday is Father's Day, and it would be even though I'm going to see my folks in a couple weeks, I was like, I'll send a Father's Day card. That is a gesture that is nice to do. I will do that. Um, uh, so I sent that out. Uh, so I've been out, but I haven't been like I'm not fucking around. If you saw the video of idiots on St. Mark's in New York, just no mask, drinking in the streets, being nightmares. One, that is St. Mark's. I mean, that is where if you are a nightmare person, that is where you go to hang out because you think that that is a cool area. It is not cool. Seek and Destroy is a cool store, but that is not cool. Uh, yeah, it's just like a bunch of young people who were nonsense, who didn't want to do it in the first place, and the weather got kind of nice, so that's it. That was the most. We got them. It's like, oh well, things are reopening. Oh cool. Well, cases haven't gone down at all, and there's no vaccine, and there is more testing, but I bet you haven't been tested, and you haven't gone to get your testing done. Uh, So you're just going to be garbage. Ugh. All right, I've got this leg here, and I think I assembled it correctly. As always, we'll find out if I did this right when the time comes. And then hopefully we'll get the other one better. But yeah, that's best. But like the basic point is that I just haven't really been out. I haven't been around a lot of people that much, so I'm a little worried about running. Like going to the airport and seeing a bunch of people. I'm trying to keep the mask going, and I'll have my hand sanitizer with me, and try to go and wash my hands a bunch. And you'd think a pandemic where people are asked to stay home and watch Netflix or whatever most of the time would be an easy thing. Well, Lord Crashington, I mean, like, I understand that there are people out there who are extroverts. But, like, I've been pretty lonely. My roommate, before he moved out, he moved in with his significant other so that they could be together. Like he was here like one day before he was like, I'm out. Like, I understand that people that are social, that want to be around people, even people that aren't, that don't have these things, but in general, I think that we are a culture that, like, and I don't think it's that we're like selfish. I just think that we feel that we are invincible, and we look at certain liberties that we have, and we think that like that if we have these rights, not that it's not that we have these inalienable rights, it's that we must exercise them. Uh, and when it comes down to it, a lot of these things are, even though so many people have died, it's not someone they know. And to me, it's like I've had a few people that I know who have had it who are still dealing with lung issues because of it, and multiple people I know whose parents have passed away or older relative has passed away. And it's just like, well, you will know someone that has it. You will know someone that died from it. It's only a matter of time, and that fucking sucks so much. Uh, just like talking to a friend of mine who lost her father, who they're in the same city, and she couldn't be with him. There was no way she could be with him. So she said goodbye, like like on FaceTime, and like that's, look, I don't know how to process that. Haven't been able to process that a man that I met in my life that said, "Hey, thanks for help looking out for my daughter." That, like, literally that man said that to me because she was an intern in the tech program, and I had like trained her, and he was like happy that she had found comedy, and like went out of his way to just be like, to take a moment to thank me. And I only met him once, but I know his daughter very well, and I tell you, it shouldn't matter that I only met him once, or even if I'd never met him, it doesn't matter. But it also really fucking matters because, like, that's a person I'm never gonna see again that got sick, went to the hospital, and didn't come back. And I don't know, and like, but it will take so many more deaths for some people to ever take any personal responsibility. And in some cases, that's not enough. And that is a fucking sad state of affairs. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's so this particular issue is not a, it is Oh, weird. You may know this. There are some counties in Florida that are closing their bars again. But it's not just Florida. It's all across the country. It's Wisconsin and Illinois and New York. I mean, New York has done a piss poor job. New York could have been a model for the rest of the country, and we have not been one. Uh, we could have handled it so much better than we did, and we did not. Um, and it's very frustrating to like live in a place that like and know that. Ugh, I'm sorry. Uh, I would love to be more gregarious about this stuff, about life in general, but I am tired, and I am sometimes sad, and sometimes I am okay. Uh, and look, it should not be a. It goes without saying, right, that I am going to be turning 40, and I am in the process of packing up and leaving the city that I love, that I have lived in since 2001. And I am getting ready to go to South Carolina, a state I have no connection to outside of the fact that that's where my parents retired to. And I'm going to go stay with family for a while and save a bunch of money and get some kind of weird gig and do the online work that I do anyway at a much cheaper place. Uh, and while I have plans to go back to New York at some point, those plans might just be, oh, I'm going back to New York because there are conventions happening that I want to go, that I promised I would work at, and so I'll go up and do those. Uh, because I don't know what the future holds for me, and I don't know what my options are going to be in the future. Uh, and this is not what I wanted to happen, certainly. Like, it goes without saying, all those things are true. Uh, but also, like, I'm doing my fucking best. Things were not going 100% incredible before COVID, certainly. But, right now, it's not, yeah, I'm not, things are not at their best for me. But, I'm going to figure it out. Um, as always, I am thrilled to have this. I am thrilled to have streaming as an outlet. I am happy to have y'all in chat, hanging out, folks that want to chat, folks that just want to hang out. Um, as always, we consider this entertainment that is not escapism. So, uh, yeah. So that has been the saying, and that is the truth. Uh, just trying to hang out and have fun and do our thing, and then we will attempt to do our best. This is the wrong piece. I pulled the wrong piece. I need A23. Yeah, I don't know what this piece is for. This is A27. Got it. All right, I'm going to finish this part up, and then we're going to take our pause for the cause. You can do me a favor right now. If you're currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote into chat. If you're tier 2, sometimes the tier 2s are here. Very rarely are y'all here. But yeah, if you're currently a subscriber, you can throw the emote and let me know that you're here. Appreciate that. Reminder, you can support the stream by being a subscriber using your Twitch Prime. If you have Amazon Prime, you can link that with Twitch. That is a way to support the channel. Another way to support the channel is to use Cash Money. You can just use Cash Money if you want. You could be like Dirty, who is the top of our leaderboard as far as gifts go. Dirty gifted 6 people a gift. That's incredible. You could be somebody like that. So there are people right now watching the stream who are not subscribers, and you could gift them a sub if you wanted to. You could even do it randomly. You could do it anonymously. Or you could just hang out. You can do bits and coins. Those are always appreciated. You're under no obligation to do any of that. I'm going to quickly talk about ways you can support the channel if you're so inclined. Uh, just sorry. Uh, Basically, Paul Verhoeven, the Australian presenter and podcaster, not the director, doesn't understand that the Build with Bear workshop is a play on Build a Bear. Um, uh, so he just tweeted at me and it made me laugh very much. That he was like, maybe it's something completely. Have you considered changing it to Build a Bear? Uh, I'm just going to reply, Build with Bear is maybe not legally actionable. I hope. Play on Build a Bear. Sorry. He even mocked up Baer. He changed the letters around, which I think is very nice. Apologies, y'all. Paul Verhoeven, good dude. Did a podcast. I don't think it still does. Did a podcast with Chris Straub. Funny guy. Um, he was played a detective in League of Heels very briefly. Good dude. Anyway, I'm going to talk about ways you can support the channel if you weren't so inclined. You are under no obligation to do any of this. These are things you could do if you wanted to. You could join my Patreon if you were like, Pat, I don't want to do this whole like thing where sorry, I join here on Twitch. I don't subscribe to anybody on Twitch. Yes, Dr. Benjamin Princess. You're right. Detective. Sorry, Benjamin Princess. My Patreon is available. You can join my Patreon. I'll let you know that they're going to start charging the U.S. sales tax, and nobody knows how that's going to affect anyone. And my contact at Patreon, like I don't have much because I don't have really a big Patreon, but the person I know that I can email about stuff there, I was like, can you look at my tiers and let me know if anyone's going to be charged? And he was like, basically said, I don't know because you have exclusive videos and I don't know if those are going to be charged sales tax or not. And I was like, cool. So I don't know, but I have a Patreon. You can join that if you want to. $1, $3, $5, $10. There are tiers. That's fun. You could, if you wanted me to buy a kit to build on stream, you could send me a donation of monies to Coffee, Streamlabs, PayPal. If you're watching this on YouTube later, hi YouTube. Check in the show description below of the video for all these links that I'm sharing. Because yeah, I buy kits and build them. Do I have enough kits to get me until I move to South Carolina? I'm not sure. I have some. I haven't done the math to see if I have enough. I think I have enough. To get me there, and I'll take whatever I haven't built there. But I also know that there is a store that is doing there's a comic book shop that's doing curbside pickup that has model kits. So if I really do need something, I can make it happen. I have an Amazon wish list. If you want to buy something on my wish list, I'll build it on stream. This was bought. The Turn A was bought off my Amazon wish list, and right now all that's going to be sent to the place that I'll be staying in South Carolina. So it'll be a while before I build anything for my wish list because I didn't want to run the risk of it coming here beforehand. So I've got a few things up in there. Some stuff's not available. I'm keeping it on the list because it might come back because you never know. But yeah, if you buy something off that wish list, hey, if you buy something off my wish list, let me know. And I'll have folks keep an eye on it. You could also buy a gift card digitally from USA Gundam store, and then I will buy something from that, and I'll tell you I'll probably pre-order something that's coming out later in the year, so that way I can get it at my leisure. Let's see. What else am I going to share with you? I have a Discord. You could join my Discord if you wanted to. You're under no obligation to do, but people post stuff they're working on. People that do 3D printing and build kits and paint stuff. It's a nice little community. I recommend my Discord. It's very chill. And I'm going to drink a little water right now, and then I'm going to talk about a couple videos you could watch if you want to watch videos. Um, it is currently Pride, so um, I made a video for Pat Baer's Anime Club, which is a weekly video series that I do, or sorry, every other week I do a video series called Pat Baer's Anime Club, and I talked about 6 queer anime that you could check out, things that I liked. So you can check that out. Drink a little water, as I said. All right. Yeah, so I checked out some anime, and that's a queer focus that you might enjoy. Also, Baering the List is a weekly series talking about anime. I did an anime show. I rank things. This is all fun and games, although I do think about what I'm going to say, but it's for fun. Baering the List, fun little series. You can check that out if you wanted to. And now we're going to get back to building, and I'm going to talk about some anime. Now, normally, this is the part of the stream where I talk about what I watched that's new since the last stream, which was Saturday. Give me 1 second. The problem is, I've only had one show that I watched that has new episodes, and they postponed it. Sachibato, President, It's Time for Battle, did not have an episode yesterday. So I couldn't watch anything from it. So instead, I did what I've been doing, which is I hit the random button on Crunchyroll, and now if there's a random button on Funimation, I don't know what it is, but they do have recommended, and so I did check out their recommended features to see what something that like was in there, and I did find one thing that I've never seen before. So I have 2 shows to talk to you about right now, and we'll talk about those shows. Because they're pretty, I think one's interesting. Let's talk about Pilot Candidate. So this was a show that I didn't watch the dub for this when it came out. It came out in 2002 or 3 in Adult Swim, and I didn't watch it. It was originally known as The Candidate for Goddess, but they changed it to Pilot Candidate because they thought the goddess imagery might be rough for U.S. audiences, and also it is about piloting mechs, so Pilot Candidate is a better name. Um, uh, 2002 Adult Swim, I hated it. Yeah. So Pilot Candidate is interesting for a lot of reasons, none of which are probably the quality of the show. Uh, right now, there was episodes 1 through 11, and then episode 0. And then there was an OVA, which is called episode 13. Now, the interesting thing is that was not part of the dub. That episode was never dubbed. So if you're watching the dub version, which Crunchyroll has, you don't get the last episode. You have to watch that subtitled because it was an OVA and it came out later, which is kind of cool. I'm not watching the whole thing because I don't think I'm going to keep watching it. It's the plot is that like this dude, I think his name is Anna. He wants to pilot these mechs. So he's a candidate. He's trained to pilot these mechs so he can defend the planet. Do the aliens have a terrible name? Yes, they are called Victim. Terrible. Do the mech things have a terrible name? Yes, they're called Ingrids. It's terrible. All of it's bad. It's not it's not great, but it is kind of interesting that if you want to watch the dub, it's on Crunchyroll because Crunchyroll got the license, and then they do have that one episode. So for people who were completists, the real thing is that episode, I think they got the license in like 2010. So they did, so like fans that really wanted to see that OVA either had to watch it fan subbed, which I'm sure they could have, or didn't get to see it until, a couple years ago, years after the fact. So it's kind of neat from a completionist standpoint, I should say, that folks got to see it. But yeah, it's nothing special. It's very derivative. I think the art for the time looks pretty good, but it's not something that I'm like, oh, I am here to revisit this classic. I was just like, I didn't watch this on Adult Swim in 2002 because I was not really watching anime in 2002. I had moved to New York and I did not have television. So I was watching some fan sub stuff, but I wasn't watching television. So yeah, that is an era. That era of Adult Swim, I was not really keeping track of, because it was like 2000 when it came out in Japan. The other show I watched, which was on, as I said, it's from 2009. It's called Eden of the East, and it's on Funimation. And it was again, this is a series that I didn't watch when it came out. So now I'm kind of like experiencing it, and it's interesting. I guess interesting is the word for it. So I'm not a big, never have been, make no claims to be. I've never been a big mystery anime fan. Like I like a good like detective series, but I don't like a good this show is this person has amnesia. They don't know what's going on. Let's unravel the mystery, and there'll be twists and turns, and people who we thought were here to help us were not here to help us, and a person that we thought was a bad person actually was a good person, but they had their own motives, and the memento of anime. I mean, Lord Crash, it's trite, right? It's just a trite thing that like, this person's lost their memory. So basically, the plot of this one is a girl is visiting like New York and Washington D.C. from Japan for like a school trip, and she runs into a dude that has no memory of what's going on, of who he is. But he also has a phone with a lot of money, like digitally attached to it, but no memory of who he is or what he's doing or what's going on. And so she gets wrapped up in this mystery. Hey, you want to talk about how is this thing just a bunch of cliches, and how yes it is. He's part of a deadly game, a deadly killing game where they have to do things, and if they don't do things, there's deadly consequences. But there's more to this story than meets the eye, and everyone is not who they seem, and blah 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 blah. But looks pretty cool. I like the two main characters, and I'm interested to see where the story goes. I've only watched the first three, and I think I'm going to keep watching it. Partially because who knows if any of the other shows I'm watching will have a delay this week, because I haven't been keeping up, but I feel like at least a couple of them probably will be delayed. Uh, um, the one show I hope doesn't get delayed is, Kashigoto I hope doesn't get delayed because I'm really interested in where that's going. And also, we're only one episode left of uh, um, My Next Life is a Villainous, All Routes Lead to Doom. Like, I definitely don't want to see. I want to find out what happens in that show because we are so close to being over. Um, but anyway, yeah. So Eden of the East. I'm probably going to watch more of it. Uh, I'll have a report for you on more episodes. Like I said, I'm generally not a huge like amnesia story kind of guy or a deadly game kind of a guy. Like Darwin's Game was an anime that came out that I did not watch, and I don't know anyone who did, but like, that doesn't mean it wasn't good. It's just not in my circles. But I think it's Darwin's Game maybe. Specfuls is following. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome to the Build with Baer workshop. We are putting together a very strange model kit. I remember liking Eden in the East. Yeah, Lashbrook, like I said, it's 2009, and I just like that was. So I didn't really get back into anime until like 2015, 2016. That's when I kind of got back, dipped my toes back in. There had been a big period where I hadn't really just watched some stuff. Yes, welcome to the See, we are the build with Baer because I'm Pat Baer, so we're the build with Baer, which is legally distinct, hopefully enough from Build a Bear, which is the. It's not. I mean, it's not legally distinct. They could shut me down. They could say, "Hey, stop saying that. You're confusing people," and they would. Here's the thing: if the build, if the Build a Bear Workshop people were ever like, "Hey, it's confusing if you call your thing Build with Bear. It's confusing, even though we know it's your last name because we can tell that it's still confusing." I would say you are right because I'm not doing a parody. Have you built a bear with Build with Bear? I have built one bear. I built a one of the Gunpla bears, the Bandai bears, whose name I can't remember. I've only built one bear ever on the stream, but it was a bear. So it does. It was not a build with bear, but it was a bear model kit. So I've built one bear on the stream. Someday I'll get another one. Next time I see one of those little bears, I'll probably get one. But yeah, I mean, look, we're not. This isn't parody. I'm not. This is not fair use. I'm not parodying the Build with Bear Workshop by making a thing that is a parody of that product. I'm literally just took the. I in the shower was like, build with bear, and then I was like, oh, well that needs to be something. What would that be? Oh, a model kit building stream because I've wanted to do that. Cool, I have the title. Now that I have the title, I have to do it. That is Harold. It was a robot and it had a sign, so it was not a bear. It, it had robotic armor, so I don't think it was a bear. It might have been a bear. Oh man. No. What was I going to say? Oh yeah. Really, all it comes down to is I often if I think of a title first, then I think, well, what would that be? Like sometimes I'm like, I want to do this, and then I think about a title. Like Baering the List is me saying I want to make a ranking video series. I want to rank things, uh, uh, and then I came up with Baering the List, which is not my best title, but it's a fine enough. It's fine enough. It's not the best title I have to come up with. Um, uh, but Pat Bear's Anime Club was someone joking about like me saying like, oh, I do this, and one of the things I do every stream is talk about the anime I've been watching. And they were like, oh, cool, so it's like Pat Bear's Anime Club. And I was like, well, fuck, that needs to be a thing. Pat Bear's Anime Club is just like, what would that be? And I was like, that'd be a video series where I talk about anime on YouTube. Yeah, all right. Like, um, Pat plays Pokemon. Pat plays Pokemon, like, the name happened, and then I was like, all right, I guess I have to stream or make a YouTube series where I play Pokemon. That was my Pokemon Emerald randomizer, which I did for a while, but I kind of lost interest in. I think if I was streaming and I was doing like Nuzlocke runs as a streamer, I might keep up that momentum. But doing it as a video series, I would like. I didn't. It wasn't that fun to do. But it was like, well, Pat Billy's Pokemon is just a good name, so I'm gonna have to do that. Like, if I think of a good name for something, I'm just gonna do it. What was the like backgrounded characters? Backgrounded characters. Actually, I had the idea of wanting to do a improvised series where I just grabbed an image and then improvised a character based on that image. Like that was a thing that I've been wanting to do, and then backgrounded characters like came to me as I was trying to come up with a name for it. Uh, but it is a lot of times, like I said, the name comes first, and then I have to fill in the blanks. Um, let's see there, and we will do that. All right, and so such an odd look. This leg is so strange looking. Like obviously, like these parts here make sense, but all the ventilation elements here, uh, the movement that's involved in it, like the back plate, like just like the back of the leg being open like this, like the Turn A is such a strange kit. It's just like top to bottom, such a weird like design. It's one of the most unique mobile suits out there, uh, which is a good thing, y'all. I'm thrilled to be working on a strange kit like this. Like, please, even if I like say like, oh, this is weird and oh, this is strange and how it's put together, like that's not. These aren't negatives. I mean, is it? Has it been a little frustrating at times to work on this kit? Like, yeah, there's parts of this don't make a lot of sense. And also, as I said, 2007, like the mid 2000s, is kind of a bad time for mobile kit design. The process of putting together these kits, which this just does this series no favors because it's weird. Like the a Zaku 2 that came out in 2005 is a bad designed Zaku 2, and Bandai should know how to make Zakus. They should be able to design a Zaku in their sleep. But I remember there was a kit from like 2005 or 6 that I put together that was a Zaku that was real not good. Bad Glumpa says we were literally the same point in our builds. That's fun on the old Twitter. Also, apparently working on this kit. Oop, what we got going on here? Okay. So, folks that we were talking about Australia early, apparently, PAX Australia is going to be postponed. Uh, And okay, no. So it's not postponed. The 2020 PAX is Australia is canceled. It's not going to be postponed until later in the year. They're just going to take a year off. Okay. And then they said, pay close attention the next few days for more information, though. I'm sure they'll do some kind of digital thing. The real question is, when are they going to cancel PAX West? Because they gotta cancel PAX West. Uh, Oh boy, they gotta cancel PAX West. Oh, I hope they cancel PAX West. Um, I don't know if they will, but they gotta. But it makes sense that they're canceling PAX Australia. You know, it's a bummer for folks that like conventions and stuff. But yeah, that's for the best, I'm sure. Ugh. I didn't get very far in the process of there was a read job that was PAX related that I applied for. I didn't get very far in it, the process of it. And that's fine. I'm not going to get into big details on it. Just say that like there was a job and I applied for it. And it was funny because I was like joking around with somebody who was just like, "Do you want to leave New York and move to Connecticut?" And I was like, "Well, no, but I want a job. So yeah, sure, I'll move to Connecticut to work at Reed's corporate." Like, yeah, I don't want to do that, and I certainly don't want to commute every day for that. But like, I do want a job, and that would be a job that I would be good at. So okay. Um, and now it's like, well, I certainly will move to Connecticut if I got that gig. Part of it was just bad timing, and then also I don't think that I would do a great job, and I would do a fantastic work in that job. But I do think that there are probably folks that are way more qualified than me. Uh, that will, one of them will probably get that gig, and that's okay because something else will come along. But now I certainly would be up for doing it. So I'm already moving to South Carolina for a while. I might as well figure something else out. Talking about that, the move and stuff. Like I said, the big piece is just me getting situated down there. I will be streaming as soon as I'm there. Basically, like literally the day after I get there, I'll get there like on Sunday. Get unpacked, get set up, test my streaming setup, go live the next day. Like not a problem. The only issue I run into is if the wireless card, like my PCI wireless card on my laptop, or my desktop, uh, if it doesn't like the router, and I have to like fiddle with it, which is possible. That happens. That's like the only thing I'm worried about. And if worst comes to worst, I'll run off my laptop until I figure it out. Because like I know that in December I streamed just fine from with Wi-Fi with my laptop down there, um, without any issue. So should not be an issue. That's 22. Okay. But yeah, you know, I'm trying to eat some of the foods that I really like up here that I know I'm not going to get great down there. Tomorrow, the plan is to have some Chinese from my local place. Like, there's a decent enough Chinese place where I'm at. I had pizza today. I'll try to have pizza again before I go. And, you know, as I've said, I'm not done here. I'm not moving. I'm not retiring to South Carolina to change my life completely and totally and do all that. But I got to go down there for a while, and then I'll move back to New York. Uh, when's the last stream in here? So Lord Crashington, the last, definitely last build. So the last, I know the last build stream. Uh, Let me just pull up the calendar. Monday the 29th, I know that I will be able to stream from here doing my model kit building because it's a Monday. I'm probably going to do a bonus stream on Tuesday the 30th, because I usually do a weekly stream on Tuesday or Wednesday. Uh, and then on the 5th, I fly out of New York. So I'm going to try to do a stream on Thursday and Saturday from the Airbnb I'm staying at. So Thursday the 2nd of July and Saturday the 4th of July, I do a 4th of July night stream from my Airbnb. But I can't promise you that the Wi-Fi there is going to be, the internet there is going to work. So I don't know for sure if I'm going to be able to do that. I'll know on the 1st if the internet there is good. So basically, the 29th will be the last build stream that I know I can do from this place here, from the apartment I'm in currently. And then uh, I'll do like a bonus stream that will most likely be like a Hearthstone stream, because I know I can stream Hearthstone from my laptop, uh, like windowed in OBS without it being a problem. So I'll probably do that. And then like I said, I'm going to try to do build streams the next 2 days. Uh, but I might end up. So basically, the 30th might be like the last, like just like hangout stream, and then I might not be able to stream again until the 6th. But my hope is that I will be able to. But like I said, I won't know until I get there. Yeah. So. But I'll have my gear with me. I'll have, like any kits that I haven't built are coming with me. I have a suitcase that is basically for, I paid to put on the plane, for some gear that I didn't want to ship, um, and I'll be mailing my PC. I have to deal with that. I found out the shipping company that was local here uh, shut down. I mean, of course, I haven't investigated them since, but found out they shut down. So I was thinking of using them, but now I'm probably just gonna actually just go to the post office. Pack my stuff really well, Um, pack my computer. I have lots of packing material. I'm going to be putting literal like clothes. Like I have a good sized box that I'm going to like put my, like foam and stuff inside the PC and around the PC and in the box, and just we're gonna just hope that everything's cool about doing that. I'm nervous about it, but what I don't want to do is rely on my laptop for the next couple months to the point where it dies because it's been doing okay, but I don't really want to put a lot of I can't make it my main thing. I don't want to have to buy a new laptop in the next few months as I'm trying to save money and wait for things to reopen up here properly, because nobody really knows like what as things start to reopen, like my industry, nobody really has any idea what's going to happen. uh, like people will want comedy, that's certainly true, but will they want to go to comedy theaters and comedy clubs, and how many people can be in there, and are people gonna like want to do like it's very up in the air and very strange right now. uh People just don't know. So I kind of want to come back up to a job, work down there. As I said, one of the things I'm going to be doing when I'm down there is getting my renewing my getting a new driver's license. Say not renewing, getting a brand new driver's license in South Carolina, because I'll have access to my folks' car. They have two cars, so I'll have access to one of their cars, and I'll be able uh, to get a new license, because I had let that expire here in New York, and then it was such a hassle just to like borrow a vehicle and do all that, and just I never did. So I'll get that. That'll be good. I'll have a license, and then I can transfer it to New York when I get back up here, and that'll make my life easier about being able to get things. And also theoretically, I can rent a vehicle if I want to do that. If I want to like rent a car to come back up instead of flying back up, I could do that. Various things. But yeah, I'm trying to look at it as an adventure and not as a a sad thing I don't want to do, which it is. I mean, I don't want to do it, but I'm basically at options. If I had not been unemployed for so much of last year, things might be a little different. If my roommate hadn't decided to move out, and I had not been able to, or if I had immediately been able to find someone new to move in. Jurg, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Welcome to the Build with Baer workshop. We're doing model kit building, working on this Turn A Gundam here. We got one leg done, working on our second leg. Um, yeah, I mean, basically that's it. Like, a lot of stuff went bad in a way that isn't great, including like I was already going through all my savings by the end of last year into this year. Uh, and then when just so much of my part-time stuff just dried up, which makes sense. And then it's like, well, I'm paying all this money to live in a very expensive city where I don't leave my apartment, and all the work I do is on the internet. So I guess I'm just gonna go live somewhere cheaply, not pay rent for a while, try to pick up some other work, do some work down there, uh, see what's going on, and then save and save and save, and then I'll come back up here, hopefully for work, find something up here, come up with a reason to be here, and then boom, we'll do that. I should say this Wednesday, my bonus stream. This Wednesday is I'm going to do a bunch of games from the indie bundle for racial justice. The itch bundle that was out there. Uh, I got a bunch of games, and I'm just going to be playing a few of them. I don't know which ones I'm going to be playing. There's one that seemed very fun that I played a little of pretty recently that I'm going to be checking out again. But there's so many games. Like there's games like I'm not going to play through Celeste because like I played through that. I'm like one of the things that's very funny is one of the games in there is Arcade Spirits, and that I already bought this year and played on stream. But I'm like, oh, cool. But there's a bunch of games in that pack that I'm going to be checking out because it rules, and I got all these games, so I might as well download some. But I'll put the word out about like, hey, getting recommendations and all that. Like there have been people who've been putting lists together of things like this is on this, and did you know this is there, and hey, check out this, and so I'll be looking through that, trying to find out the gems, and we're playing through that. But I do want to tell you, you now have 1 week and a day until a very cool stream. Yeah, too many good games there. Yeah, right. So next Tuesday, June 23rd, I turn 40, and I'm going to be doing a Jackbox stream. And so I would love people to come hang out. I am going to hopefully have some amount of guests playing Jackbox games with me. I'll also be playing Jackbox games with the chat, and it will be a good time. Because, look, was I going to throw a Rager birthday party for my 40th? No. Was I going to do something for my 40th birthday? Yeah, I was going to do something. I don't know what it was going to be, but it would have been like a dinner. It would have been something because I'm turning 40. So I'm just going to play Jackbox games. Time TBD because as I said, I am going to attempt to have some guests and some friends. Most likely, I will just have them in a Discord channel. So we hear their audio. I don't think I'm going to do... I don't know. I guess I could do like a Jitsu. I'll test that. I might have video, but my thinking is I probably just do... No, I should do video, right? Yeah, I should do video. So I'll do like a Jitsu thing with them so we can see everybody. And then we'll play some Jackbox games on stream. And that'll be my big birthday celebration. So that's June 23rd. I hope you can come out for that. Because it'll be nice. I was going to do it the next day, but I was like, nah, I'm doing it on my birthday. Why not? Why not, right? It's going to be my birthday. I might as well celebrate it by playing some fun games with people. And I'm going to have some friends come through. I don't know if I'll have 8, which is why I think I might do... I might just do like a Discord thing. So I just have like the audio. And people come in, hang out. But yeah, I think that's going to be fun. And that will be, as I said, a week from tomorrow, Tuesday, June 23rd. It's also election day here in New York, primary day. And I supposed to be voting absentee. Still haven't gotten my absentee ballot. I did the paperwork right to be able to vote absentee. It has not appeared yet. So if it doesn't, I guess I'll go. Luckily, my polling station is very close to my apartment. But even though I am moving, I still want to vote here because I wasn't able to vote in South Carolina. I won't have that stuff transferred over yet. And maybe by November, I'll still be there. I don't know. So I feel like while I'm registered here in New York, I might as well vote. I'm still technically a resident, so might as well get my votes heard. There's some local. I'm going to want to move back to Williamsburg anyway, so I might as well vote in Williamsburg since I do want to come back here. So I might as well get my King County voting going, get my voice heard vis-a-vis the people that I would like to represent our area. But yeah, supposed to be able to vote in the primary absentee, but I have not received my absentee ballot yet, which is frustrating. So that was 8. That was 6. Okay, 6 goes on the outside of that. All right. Of that. We're getting some good progress done here on the legs, which is good. We got a few minutes left of the stream. We will go and raid somebody at the end of the stream, because that is a fun thing we can do. I think that theoretically, I don't know if she'll still be streaming then, but I think that our good friend Xandra will be still streaming. I believe that she is starting the Final Fantasy VII remake right now. I believe that is what she's doing. If I remember that correctly. So if she's still streaming, we'll go visit her. But there might be somebody else doing it too. I don't know. Wouldn't mind going to visit Kate Stark, but I know that she's taking Mondays off right now. She's trying to redo her schedule, and so we love and respect that. And so I'm glad that she's going to take 2 days off in a row. And that's rad. Full-time streamer, going to take 2 days off, and not just 2 days, but 2 days that are back-to-back. And that is awesome. I hope that that is something she can continually do and doesn't have to stop and go back and bump up into a massively bigger schedule to make up for lost revenue. But, Kate is a full-time streamer. I am not a full-time streamer, as you are very well aware. I do, 6 hours of building and 2 hours of games besides that. And that is enough. For me, anyway. I know there are plenty of people that do, obviously, that they are part-time streamers like myself and do it consistently. Like, they consider themselves part-time, but they do it every day. And even if I'm underemployed right now and I don't have a lot going on, I still have some work to do. But mainly it's just like, if I built model kits every day, I would not... I would have to be a partner. And I'm saying this right now. If my numbers went up and I was able to stream every day because I have all these numbers and I'm going full time and I got partner, like, I don't think I could build every day. I think I would get sick of building model kits if I was doing it every day. I would run out of stuff all the time. The transition would be hard because I would just be like, need to have so much gear ready to go all the time, and it would just not want to do it. It's crazy how much those sorts of streams lose the subs and such for taking it. Yeah, Lord Crashing. I mean, like, Kate's been pretty. The main thing is just to, like, streamers at a certain point are just like, I can't ever stop streaming. Like, I can't go away. Like, if I go away, I have to do, like, streams of me traveling, and I gotta go and do the pod thing, and I gotta stream from my Airbnb, and I've gotta do the live things and have a backpack and do all that, and it's just nonsense. And, like, I fully support people that want this to be the way they earn their living and can do it. But yeah, like, there are a few streamers I know who are like, look, the pandemic sucks so much. I'm so sorry that people are, hurt and all that. But I don't have to travel for Hearthstone tournaments. They're all digital right now, which means that I don't have to stop streaming to go to another city or another state or another country to compete in these tournaments and lose followers. I can just not stream when the tournament is going on and then stream before and after. And it's like, yeah, I mean, if there is a benefit to all of this complete and utter sadness, it's like, yeah, I mean, I'm glad they don't have to travel and that they don't have to fear losing uh, support because they're traveling. Have the ocular implant camera. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, I know plenty of people were like, yeah, well, I can only go to one PAX this year because I lost 300 stream. I lost like 300 subs when I went to PAX East, so I can't go to PAX West. And it's just like, oh, fuck, okay. I can't imagine feeling like I need to do a regular job every day without having any days off. That would kill me. Yeah, look, Christian, I mean, like, for some people, it's like, it's part of the hustle. And some people, like, hey, there are people that work every day. They, like, that's just what they do. Um, the idea of having 2 days off in a row, like, working for the weekend, like, there is a psychological benefit to having 2 days off in a row that, like, I'm no expert. I can't tell you the health benefits of that, the mental benefits of that, but I can tell you that, like, just knowing that there's a day where having one day where at the end of it you can be like, I don't have work tomorrow. Like, it's only one day. Because if you have 2 days off, that means that one of those days, you have to go to work the next day. You have, or work from home or whatever it is. But having that one day where you're like, I don't have any. Because I didn't have that for a very long time. The way my work schedule was for a very long time, I had a couple days off here and there. Um, and the real thing is, what I found was, uh, my work schedule before it ended, like, I didn't stream when I had work until the very, very end. You may have noticed that when I transitioned, like, to 3 streams a week, when I added my January stream or my Monday stream, that was in January of 2019, and that was really late night on Mondays because I was told that I was going to be laid off and was given my end date, but and then I hit my goal to unlock 3 days a week streaming, but I was still working. So basically, when I was working full time at UCB, I worked Sunday through Wednesday, guaranteed at night, plus hours of maintenance and going in and meetings and all the other shit that I had to do. Right? I had all that other stuff, none of which I was certainly unhappy with. I mean, the meetings were whatever. And then I streamed Thursday nights and I streamed Saturday nights, which means that I was lucky that I only had a 4-day work week. Although, when I say 4-day work week, I was still working a ton. Those days, I just meant at night I would go in, and then during the day I would have meetings or I would have emails and I would conversations every day, and I had a bunch of work that was outside of the hours that I was in the theater. And then, so really, I was lucky. That's why I started doing Thursday and Saturday, was so that Friday I didn't have anything. I didn't do anything on Friday. And then Monday, I was going to be like, well, I don't want to stream on Friday. So what I ended up doing was, for 1 month, I streamed on Mondays late at night. And then my schedule changed and I started streaming early on Mondays before I went into work. So I would stream for 2 hours and then have a little time to do whatever I wanted to do and then go in to work. And do that, and that worked out okay. And then, I fully got laid off. That came out, and then it was easy for me to do that. And then I had a day job here and there. I had projects, and my time was whatever. And sometimes I had things going on directly into the stream, and that was always frustrating to have. And then there was, like, I got my gig working at the very lovely, and I was very happy to work with them, working for the Brooklyn Comedy Collective, and that was Friday nights and Sunday nights. and I picked that particular because they offered me Saturday, and I wanted to keep streaming on Saturday. So the only time that sucked was when I got my job with, which was certainly limited and was over sooner than I would have liked. But when I got my job with working for T Public, uh, Fridays were bad. Friday was a very bad day because I would work all, I'd been that Thursday I would have worked all day and then streamed, with a break in between would have been fine. And then, okay, so I would work like wake up on Thursday, work all afternoon. I prefer Papers is now following. Thank you for the follow. We got a bunch of new follows tonight. It's very nice. Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear Workshop. We are almost done with our stream for the evening, so I apologize that you're coming in towards the end, but we'll keep doing it in the future. We're just tonight almost done with our stream. Um, but yeah, so there was a period there where I was working Monday through Friday, which is great. I was happy to do that. But on Thursdays I would work all day, then have a break, then stream, then go to bed because on Friday I had to get up early because I had to go to my theater gig, which I still wanted to keep because I wasn't making enough to let that go, and then work all day and go and then work a few hours that night. Uh, and that Fridays weren't great because Fridays had already been busy and then it just got busier, so that wasn't particularly great. But it worked, that gig ended way sooner than it should have, and that's okay. So now I still have some internet gigs. Most of them have dried up, and I'm trying to get more. And then I literally applied for something, and hey, weird. They looked at my social media and they were like, it says here Hey, so my notes say that you're moving, and I was like, yeah, I'm leaving New York for a couple of months to go to South Carolina. That could change if I have a gig here because it was like because this job that I'm applying for doesn't start until October. I'll come back, and they were like, oh, and I was like, did you think we were gonna meet between now and then, like in person? And they were like, oh, probably not. And I was like, okay. They're like, oh, all right. We're just saying it was moving, so maybe you didn't want this job. I was like, no, I'm moving because I don't have a full time job. It's not that I would love to stay. Offer me a job, and then I won't have to leave, or I'll come back for the job. So who knows? Who knows? Anyway, that's going to be the end of the stream tonight. I'll be taking a photo of this. We finished our legs. We finished our shoulders. We're going to be working on the waist next. We have the waist to build, and then we have the weapons and the shield to build. So we should be finishing this up by the end of Thursday. I'll put a poll out for my $10 patrons about what I should build next. I've got some options for them to pick from. But yeah, the tall, lanky friend. Look how big these legs are. So real legs going on there. I'll be taking a photo of that. But we're going to go raid somebody. So I'm going to go and see who's out there, who's out and about that we can go and give a raid to because it's nice to spread the love. And maybe I'll introduce you to a streamer that rules, or we'll see somebody that you're like, oh yeah, I know this person. Harold just cheered 15 bits. Thank you very much, Harold, for that. Let's see. We got a few people doing stuff. You know what? This looked like a cool game. Mary Kish has been playing Never Song, and this looks pretty cool. So we're gonna go give Mary a follow because she's been playing a cool game, and you can check out a cool game. And also, Mary is great. So we'll go give Mary a raid. Mary Kish, who was at Game Spot for a long time, and then moved on to she works at Twitch. She just got a big raise there pretty recently. So we'll go give her a raid once this ad ends that I'm watching right now because I'm not a subscriber. Great, just making sure she's still going. All right, we're going to go give her a raid. If you want to follow, come along, you're more than welcome to. If not, that's okay. You don't have to. Obviously, it's a different thing than what we're doing here. But thanks so much for hanging out. I'll see you bonus stream Wednesday at 9 p.m. Next build stream Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Have a great night, and I'll see you all later. Bye-bye. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.